So, welcome back everybody. Hello boys and girls. Today, just got this one through the post. This is the Justice League of America, DC Finest. Now, I haven't talked to you about the DC Finest, but I've been boring everybody at work. This is my favourite publishing thing coming out of DC and even Marvel. Especially how companies like Books, etc., and sometimes Amazon have them as cheap as 22 quid. I would, and I could quite easily buy every single one of them, but I don't have enough space, and I save my money for other things. So I've gone for a select number of things. I've got some Doom Patrol, I've got some of the Green Arrow, Justice Society, I've got the very first, the earliest Batman and the earliest Superman. I don't mind the early Batmans, but the early Supermans I have problems with sometimes. Golden Age Superman. And I've actually held off. I love the Justice League of America. And I've got lots of the comics from the 80s and the JLI and some of their books and things like that. But the early stuff I find kind of, let me show you, because I do have volume 1 of Justice League of America archives with Starro. But the early ones had a character called Snapper Carr, who was like their teenager character. And although Batman and Superman appear on the title page of the very first issue, which was actually a Brave and the Bold comic, because that was kind of a magazine that previewed comics, and if they were popular, they took off. Starro, you may remember from the Suicide Squad movie. There's John Jones, the Martian Manhunter, but you will find that in a lot of the earlier comics there was less Batman and Superman, and I don't know, the stories just seem to be a little more lightweight, really. Superman's turned up to just rub his chin. So that's the early ones. This is the early issues of Brave and the Bold and 1 to 6 of Justice League of America. And similarly, when the showcase books came out, and they were like a forerunner to what is now the DC Finest, but the DC Finest are full colour, whereas these were phone book. And if you don't know what a phone book is, kids, ask your mum and dad. These were phone books, thick tomes, 500 pages. I got number 1. I got number 2. But then I kind of stopped, really, and then I got number 5. I think it went up to number 6. Number 5 goes from, it has issues 84 to 106. Now you've got what year was this? It was kind of getting more bronzy age. Well, we got to issue 106, 84 to 106. It will tell me the years. 84 was 1970, and 106, 1973. So they're good fun adventures, and I just felt they had a little more gravitas than the earlier stories. Now I believe, if my dusty old brain will tell me, or even my little book, this is my little book, which I would write down my comics that I have and try not to spill my tea all over them. Let's see if I can find just this. I think 196 was my first Justice League. I'm not going to find it, am I? Not in the next couple of seconds. Which was a story with that had Zatanna in the middle of it. No, 164. I think it was 164. I've got some early ones before now, but yeah, well, I think it was one, or what was it, 161? 161 or 164. Anyway, Zatanna was the main story was around her, and it actually took me 10 years to get the next issue, which wasn't as fun. I think the art was by Dick Dillon, and the writing was either someone like Jerry Conway or Len Wein or maybe Carrie Bates. But so yeah, I'll say 164. I'll stick to that. So this one goes up to 106, and then this new volume that's just come out is 103 to 132. So there's an overlap with number 5, Justice League number 5. What's it like inside? That's what you're all asking. Right, there's on your back. And this covers 1972 to 1976. So just before I started collecting American comics. It's Captain Marvel or Shazam and the Phantom Stranger. Got the looks like, is that the Metal Men? I don't know. No, looks a bit Metal Men-y, isn't it? But yeah, when I started reading, you had Dick Dillon's artwork, which was iconic. And let's see who wrote this one. Red Tornado seems to be all right in the Len Wein, Dick Dillon, and Dick Goridano are the art team and the writer. And so it's kind of my era, which is why I decided I was going to get this one, because the other books, Justice League of America books that came out on Finest so far, there's big gaps between them. So one's a really early one, and one's the Justice League Detroit, when they got rid of all the big hitters, and then they got in Vibe and Gypsy and Commander Steel, Sergeant Steel, a Steel of some sort. And this is also the era where they used to have team-ups periodically with the Justice Society, and I fell in love with the Justice Society when I came across some comics when they were still doing in All-Star, just before the DC implosion, and they introduced the Huntress and Power Girl. So yeah, by the time I came along to collect the Justice League, every issue, Red Tornado seemed to be falling to pieces. Mentally as well as physically. So the artwork's pretty tasty, the story's a little more sophisticated than the earlier issues. And if you are thinking about a Justice League DC Finest, I think this is probably the best volume to go for. at the moment. And look, even Hawkman gets a go. I think he'd kind of been phased out. It kept popped up occasionally, but it was kind of phased out when I started getting them in about 1979, 1980. And John Jones, the Martian Manhunter, was long gone. I didn't know who he was for a long time. So there you go. That's the latest one, just flopped through the door. What a great series. Right, just over 20 quid I bought this for. Loads and loads of issues, and I've got a load of them on the go. I was trying to read just one at a time, but now I've got, I'm halfway through Westerns, which is very good. And I'm also reading Green Lantern at the moment, and a bit of Aquaman, and oh yeah, and Wonder Woman as well. So there you go. So Justice League of America, Crisis on Earth X, DC Finest, the latest one. You'd be a fool to miss this one. Ta-ta for now.